Hi there, it's Richard Knowles from Element Finance here. Hope you're all well. And if you are watching this or reading this blog, depending on whether you choose to read or watch and listen to my dulcet tones, we would hopefully have seen you on previous videos. We are talking about the 6 pillars of property development. So today we are at pillar number 5. So if you are listening to this or reading this for the first time, you've missed the 4 previous pillars. So I would encourage you to go back and start at number 1. Just for a very quick recap, the 6 pillars of property development are number 1, opportunity, how you find that opportunity, and we'll take you through that process. Number 2, the appraisal, how you appraise whether that's a good opportunity or not, and whether you should continue any further. Number 3, pillar number 3, the 2 Ps, purchase and planning. Number 4 was our area of expertise, finance. Pillar number 5, which we're talking about today, is construction. And then pillar number 6 will be the exit. So we want to talk today about construction. So hopefully by now you've been through the other 4 pillars. So you've found your opportunity, you've given it a good appraisal, you have purchased it, been through planning, or if it came with planning, matters not, but that's the point. So you've been through that, you've raised your finance, you're now ready to go on the construction phase. So it's split into 2 really. So there's the as far as I see it, so there's what you need to do in the planning phase and then the actual build itself. Now there are obviously going to be some differences whether you are going to take on the role as project manager and main contractor and manage all the individual trades yourself, or whether you are, as a developer, are going to engage a mainline contractor, which will come with a project manager on a fixed price contract. So some of this will be relevant, some of it won't, depending on which route you've gone down. But we'll just run through a few things anyway. So the first point to consider in the planning phase is your team. So let's just say that you are project managing it yourself. So really you want to make sure that you've got your supplier selection all done. You want to make sure you've got all your contractor selection all done, what bricklayers you're going to use, what plasterers going to use, all that kind of stuff. Done your own due diligence, made sure that they're quality. It's not this there's a price element. You need to make sure you bring this in on budget, but you also want to make sure that you've got the right quality in place as well. So make sure you've got your team in place. So I'll put that under team management if you like. And then utilities, do you need to get utilities to the site? You want to engage with that fairly early, see who, what choice you've got in the area, who the sort of utility suppliers are, and I would, the earlier the better with that. That's before you even start the build. You want to make sure you've engaged with them. A, that can be very costly. B, time frame wise can completely screw you. So you need to make sure you really engage with them very, very early. And then we get into the build themselves, the build itself. Now, again, it will differ whether I'm talking to you and you are already a builder who has decided to become a developer. In fact, the videos just gone were probably, handy in terms of hints and tips and maybe some things that you didn't know. Maybe this is your core area of expertise. So, you've got far more knowledge than I have in this particular sector or this section rather. Or if you're not, if your skills lie elsewhere and this comes as new news to you, this is meant to give you a little bit of an overview and just a few things to consider and a few things to look out for. This is by no means an exhaustive list. So, for people that are out there training this stuff, they're going to a much deeper dive and much more detail. This is really just kind of skimming over the surface so you're aware of it. We just wanted these to be informative short videos really more than anything else. So, when you're in the build, it's about controlling the cost. You need to control the cost. You've committed to a budget for your finance. You've done a cash flow analysis. You need to make sure that you start to bring this in and deliver it. So you really need to focus on controlling the cost, and also it has an impact on your finance as well. Things are done, drawn down in arrears on works completed. So time-wise, time is money essentially. So you want to control your cost, but that brings me on the next thing. It's about speed. You want to make sure that you're doing these things in a timely manner. Delays, 2 days here, 3 days there, a day here, half a day there. That stuff all adds up, and time equals money. old phrase, it rings very true in this game. You know, time really does equal money. However, the caveat to those two is that never ever, in my opinion, the cardinal sin is quality. You know, never sacrifice quality for the first two. You know, you need to have your first eye on that. If you're not doing, or if you've not got trades on site doing things at the requisite quality, you're just going to get problems later on. You know, we talked a lot about GDV and, you know, what your site's going to be worth in earlier videos. Your GDV will be affected if you do not build and present a quality product. And I don't mean putting in marble floor tiles and granite worktops. You know, I mean in terms of the actual fabric of the building. Make sure it's all good quality. Depend on what area of the market you're in, or end of the market you're in, or what you're actually building, will determine your nice finer points, your finishes, and what kitchens you put in and that kind of stuff, and choose the appropriate fittings and fixtures for your market, I guess. But when we talk about quality, we're talking about build quality. So they're the main things I think to consider in the build phase. And again, they will vary whether you're engaging with a mainline contractor that's doing all the work, might come with its own project manager, or whether you are the project manager and you are taking on the role as the lead developer and you're managing it all individually yourself. It's all on you. You know, you need to make sure that you're managing these individual trades and you're getting the right people in at the right time. And again, any kind of delays is going to eat into your budget. And then at the construction end, you know, once you've finished all the nice stuff, you know, handing the properties over to their new owners if you've been through the sales cycle, which we will talk about next, actually. So, you know, you get into that point, you need to make sure that you've got all the certification in place. Again, if you're using a mainline contractor, you should just make sure that they're doing all that, you know, your warranties, structural warranties are in place and all that good stuff. And if there's any defects, to rectify that, you know, that can be a big cause of disputes. So you make sure you spot them early. You know, if there's anything that needs rectifying, make sure it's rectified before stuff handed over. So hopefully that's giving you a flavour of the construction phase. We've got one more area to cover, which is going to be the exit, and we'll do that in a separate video. So this is Richard Knowles from Element Finance. I'll hopefully see you again soon. Take care.